Here are today's episode highlights.
Before cell phones.
Exacto.
Yeah.
Imagine.
We'd be in trouble right now.
Entertainment industry brought us together, right, Coma?
Exactly.
That's why we're going to celebrate our past.
You know what? We have to dig back into those fun and exciting times that we've experienced, right? Back when we were in our 20s.
And some not so good, too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
One of them was really cute.
Yeah,
I remember
yes.
one. One was really cute.
Wait. Hans. I
No.
think that was his name.
Oh, we need to look him up.
He was so cute.
Hans.
He was so cute.
Put your hands on me, baby.
Put your hands on me.
This big black vehicle pulls up, and my heart is like wondering who's going to come out. Y sale. Well, for me, back in the day, he was the celebrity of East LA.
Oh.
Oscar de la Hoya.
Do you guys remember the boy band Magneto?
Of course.
From the 90s?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
my gosh.
El de
Okay.
Abuela Abuela?
El de Abuela Abuela.
No te
Those
hace
guys.
falta.
We clicked and we went out on many dates.
No way.
Wait,
was he
excuse me?
rico suave in
Oh, yeah.
person?
I'll share some pictures.
Espérame, coma. ¿Hubo besito?
Muchos.
Oy.
Okay. It was my dream, and I don't think I was ready for it, but I said, it is now
Yes,
or never.
never.
That's right.
Vámonos. And I was on TV giving entertainment, and the rest is history.
Did I go out with a lot of them? Yes. Did I kiss a few here and there? Yes. Yes. but yes.
Yes.
But you know what?
Hey, girl, welcome. We've been waiting for you.
Bienvenida. We are four comadres, and we are so excited to have you here. I am Argelia.
I am Mindy.
I am Diana.
And I'm Janet. Join us. Grab that drink.
Get comfy, settle in, and get to know us.
As we get down with some real conversations.
And raise that glass to the true power of sisterhood.
Are you ready for us?
This is Comadres Unfiltered.
Salud! Cheers, comadrita.
Cheers.
It's
Another
been a long time without seeing you girls.
That's
Last
right.
week.
I know.
Salud.
Salud.
Oye, vienes bien rockera el día de hoy. I love this, Janet.
Leather.
Rockera, Janet. This is reventón, super estrella.
Hey. We're taking it back today, huh?
Yeah, we're taking it back.
So you being at that concert with Rock and Roleando with your hubby and the Rolling Stones, did it really take you back to those days when you went wild?
I think we were just talking about that. Like, we had so much fun in our 20s. It was a very different time in the industry, and I think we were just exposed to so many fun experiences where people were themselves.
Right?
That's
There was no worry about
Pre-cell
cameras.
phones. Before cell phones.
Exacto.
yeah.
Sí.
Imagine.
We'd be in
And
trouble right now.
Entertainment
Yes.
industry brought us together, right, Coma?
Exactly.
That's why we're going to celebrate our past.
You know what? We have to dig back into those fun and exciting times that we've experienced, right? Back when we were in our 20s.
And some not so good, too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Some really amazing, some
cringy.
really wild,
Yes.
wild encounters,
Wild.
Yes.
wild situations.
Yes. Oh,
We're
yeah.
digging back in the file cabinet.
I'm going to be honest with you
The file
girls.
cabinet up here.
El cuaderno de las memorias.
Estoy un poco nerviosa
Oy.
because
¿Y
I've
eso?
never shared some of the things that I'm going to share today for the very first
Dun,
time.
dun, dun.
Juicy, juicy.
I don't even know if Omar knows some of these encounters
Oh.
or experiences. One I had with you.
Mm-hmm.
One I had with you.
One we had together.
Oh.
We had a couple together.
Oh yeah. Pero no sé si le he contado or even my family, or other friends, but I'm a little bit nervous because I'm going to name drop,
Ooh.
which I've never done that.
Are we
Is
going
it
to get in trouble?
Is it okay? Am I going to get sued?
No,
hope not.
I think as long as the stories are fun and I think lighthearted, which they are, they were so fun, and we're just revisiting those times that just bring smiles
Yes.
to our, to
Oh,
us when we're
yeah,
drinking.
but-
When we were telling them, we literally sit around sometimes and we talk about the past.
Yes.
And then you talk about your future, right?
Exacto.
Because we living in the present. We're living in that routine that we also talk about so many times. And sometimes you just need an escape. And so sometimes revisiting all those fun stories that I'm glad we're still alive today.
And for new followers and subscribers that are just joining us, in this episode, you must know that yes, we all started our careers in the entertainment industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some as reporters, reporter right here, raise
Reporter.
report, yeah. Some as producers,
Producer.
and some as
Working in the entertainment industry.
literally
right? Being
like
in charge of
right
some of the
hand,
celebrities.
manager, publicist, for
little bit of
A-listers.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
So today we're gonna spill the tea.
yes.
Oh,
We're
see.
spilling the tea, girl. All
Let's
right,
do
I need a
it.
drink for this one.
Before we get into our confessions here, do you remember the very first celebrity you met in your entire life?
Yes.
Like, how old were you? Way before you even knew that you were going to be doing this for a living, right? How old were you? And who was that celebrity? And was it a beautiful day or was it like a disappointment?
Oh gosh.
Let's start sharing that moment.
I want to share mine.
Go, go,
Go,
Mindy.
Mindy.
Go, Mindy.
Go,
Mindy
Mindy.
first.
Go,
Mindy
Mindy.
first.
For
Go.
those who don't, you know me. I'm glad you're here to get to know all of us a little better.
Yeah.
But
Tell us how you
was
got
a
started.
rockera. Well, I was a rockera.
Well, but we were all rockeras at some point.
Oh,
But
no, no,
how
no.
did you get in it?
Oh no. I was
She was a real
rockera. Like
Ooh.
a high school, I was wearing like leopard tights, and I was being sent home all the time.
Really?
Rebelde también.
Inappropriate dressing. I can't believe my mom let me out looking like that. I go, Mom, oh my God. She would just shake her head. You're gonna go to school like that? Yeah, Mom.
So you
We're
were like a
talking-
fashionista. I can already
was.
see it.
I was.
You were
and-
setting the trends.
Yes, and this was during the time of Van Halen, all the glam bands, right? So I met, I designed clothing for a local rock band, and I went to the Reseda Country Club, and I was backstage because I was delivering some of the clothing that they were going to be wearing for the
And
show.
how old were you?
I was 16 years
16?
old with a fake
Oh my God.
ID.
Where
did you get it?
Raise your
At the
hand.
park?
You had a fake ID.
The
Okay,
park,
I
the
know
park.
you did. I know you did. So yes, I had a fake ID as of 15 years old, and it was a 21 and over ID.
No way.
Oh yeah, and it looked like me too. I'm like, thank you, Jesus.
Where did you get it? Where did you get it?
Thank you, baby
Where did you
Jesus.
get it?
A la
I found
MacArthur.
it. No, I found it on the floor.
Shut
in
up.
Hollywood. And
Get
she
out.
resembled me. Yeah.
Oh, wow. ¿Qué dijiste?
So
es una
as-
señal de la vida.
I'm like, God
it.
wants me to get out there and for Hollywood.
Paint the town. Paint the town.
Paint the town. So I was backstage with this band, right? I was 16 years old. I lied to everyone saying I'm 21, but I wasn't. I was only 16. Makeup on, the whole thing. And I met Paul Stanley from Kiss.
No
the band
way.
Kiss.
Wow.
Yeah, backstage. We hit it off. Either that or he liked young girls.
I think that's,
I think he
yes.
liked the
I'm
young
sure he
girls.
had so much in common with a
Oh,
16-year-old.
yeah,
Excuse me,
exactly.
21-year-old.
Exactly. So we got talking, and I even had a little drink, a little bit, and he invited me and my friends over to his house.
That same day that
He was
you met
driving a
him.
beautiful Corvette because we're already on the outside. He goes, "Are you sure you don't want to go to the after party?" And I was like, "Oh God, I love Kiss so much, right? The band." I wasn't really into him, but he was the hottest member of Kiss,
Yeah.
Paul Stanley, right? I was like, whoa. But no, I did not go. I think I did the right thing.
Yes.
Qué
I did the
bueno.
right thing.
I was
said
like, my
no.
heart was pumping.
know.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I know,
Don't do
that
it.
was a
Please
mom.
don't tell me
Kind
that
of
you
a
did.
mom.
As a mom, as a friend back then, we would have been like, go, girl!
Live life, man.
Exactly. But I'm glad I didn't do it because shit happens, right? Now you hear all these stories, right?
Yes.
Of like celebrities and
Oh,
weirdos.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It gets really creepy.
Mhm.
So I was a little chicken, so that was a good thing. Like my mother instilled a lot of things, and even
You
though
were
I was
scared.
kind of
You were scared of her.
kind of a rebel. I still remember a few little things like don't trust.
Yeah.
And he was older, right? And I still remember that hairy chest of his. He was wearing like a low cut, shirt and a lot of hair coming out.
Oh, God. Oh.
Core memories from back
Core
in the
memories.
day.
That was my core memory. Oh yeah, good times. What about you, girls? Huh? Any good
You want to
story?
go? I
You
want
know
to
what?
go.
Mine is. Okay, so my cousin was super into the Barrio Boys. Do you guys remember the Barrio Boys?
Donde quiera que estés.
Oh my God.
Boys.
So
The Barrio Boys.
This is hilarious. No, I was obsessed with the Barrio Boys, and they had a concert at Magic Mountain.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Those
so we
summer
were hanging
concerts.
out, and they were like in the crowd. I think before they performed or something like
Yeah.
that. So we got to meet them. I think I was like 17
17,
too.
yeah.
Very nice, but we were just so excited to see them up on stage. But I just remember they were really, really nice, and they were with a bunch of people, so it wasn't like.
You didn't have a one-on-one with them?
No.
Oh.
Well, kind of. He said hello, like we're here to see you guys perform, and they were like but they were.
Did
moving
you have like a
along.
crush on one of them? Were they good looking?
Oh my
or is
God,
it
I
just-
can't even.
One of them was really cute.
Yeah,
I remember
yes.
one. One was
Oh,
really
wait.
cute.
Hans. I think that was his name.
Oh, we need to look him up.
Hans.
He was so cute.
Put your Hans on me, baby.
Put your hands on me. I don't remember.
I love how Janet blushes in a way. She's
I
so
know,
cute.
I blush.
It's like you look like a
There'll be
teenager right now.
lots of blushing happening this episode. There was lots of blushing in my 20s.
You know what? I'm gonna follow
That's a fun
Janet
story.
because you were 16 when you met.
Paul Stanley, yeah.
You were.
I was at 16 or 17. I
How
think.
funny! I was 18. My Garfield High School graduation. I went home after the whole, ceremony, and I remember my friend Berta. Hopefully, she's watching. Berta me habla y me dice, "RG, ya me decían RG. I just got invited to Florentine Gardens.
Florentine Gardens.
Hollywood.
We had never been clubbing to a 21 and over. So, and I said, well, how are we going to get in? Just get to my house. We're going to get in.
Connection.
Okay, pues le dije a mamá, sorry, pues ya me voy a festejar la graduación con mis amigas and blah, blah, blah. Take off to Berta's house. And then we get on someone's car and we go to Florentine Gardens and we're just waiting there trying to get in.
Yes.
And this big black vehicle pulls up and my heart is like wondering who's going to come out. Y sale. Well, for me, back in the day, he was the celebrity of East LA.
Oh.
Oscar de la Hoya.
Oh.
They open the door. Here comes Oscar, which is my age. We're literally the same age. Imagine at the time he had already won the golden medal. He was
Right.
the celebrity
Yes.
of our neighborhood and of Latina. And he was so freaking handsome. I was in love with like every single Garfieldian was. Y sale Oscar with all his entourage and bodyguards. And there were girls in that crowd. I don't know who they are.
The entourage?
Part of the entourage. Y ahí es cuando mi amiga dice, ahora. So we literally went into that little crowd. And when
shuffled
Oscar
in
said,
there?
they're all with me, they let us go in.
Nice.
And I was in shock that I was in a club, 21 and over, and that I was partying, según yo,
Yes.
with Oscar. And obviously we went to his VIP corner,
Oh, yes.
hanging out with Oscar in the sofa and his friends, girls that are friends.
Yes.
And here we are, like, part of that crowd. So I felt like I was in the
I
room.
love that.
In the
Celebrity.
VIP.
Yes.
Ooh.
At 18.
At 18,
You
that
felt
is
VIP.
very exciting.
meeting my golden boy. And it's so funny because after that, I was just excited that I was at a club.
Yeah.
And we left Oscar y nos la pasamos bailando toda la santa noche because it was a special day. It was
Did
our
you meet
graduation.
him? Like, did he introduce himself? Did you talk to him at
he
all?
didn't even know we were
He
there.
was just handing you shots.
He
and...
thought we were part of the crowd.
Oh, he didn't even
His
know.
crowd.
Oh, that's
Years
funny.
later, when he came to our show,
Yeah.
María I told him, and he was like, te tenías que hacer, eres la colada. He actually liked the story. Le conté después that I had done that travesura, but that thanks to him, I had been to my 21 and over club at 18 on my graduation day from Garfield, which is our connection because he went to Garfield.
Oh, my God.
And
how
so
cute.
I'll always love that story of my first celebrity encounter, even though he didn't know that I was there. But the fact that because of him, I walked into this club.
That is
And y desde ahí le tengo
hilarious.
más cariño. Digan lo que digan de él, he will always be
Yes,
my golden
yes.
boy because thanks to him, I went into a club.
Nice.
For the very first time.
That's
Nice.
a lot of fun.
Toast to that.
Cheers,
Yes.
yes. Mine was not as exciting, but do you guys remember the boy band Magneto?
Of course.
From the 90s?
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my gosh.
El de
Okay.
abuela, abuela.
El de abuela, abuela.
No te
Those
hace
guys.
falta que-
So they were doing a signing at Ritmo Latino. Do you guys remember that record
Oh
store?
my
God.
Ritmo,
Of course,
a record
Latino,
store
yes.
where you would still go buy
Yes.
albums.
Oh, I wish they still
Yeah.
had
So there was
those.
one in
I
San
know.
Fernando, and my sister worked across the street at the bank, and so I wanted to go stand in line to meet them. So my sister could see me from her office window while I was standing in line all afternoon waiting to meet them. And I finally did, and oh my God, it was the best feeling ever. I think I was like 14 or 15 years
my
old.
God.
Yes, Alan and Mauri. Mauri
Alan.
was my favorite because
Alan
you
had
know
the
me, I
shorts.
like my güeritos.
He was the one that wore
Yes.
shorts, Alan, I think.
Oh, no, Alan wore shorts. He was the lead
Always.
singer,
Yes,
but
yes,
Mauri
yes.
was a güerito, the blonde with blue eyes. Because you know me and my white
Desde
boys.
entonces ya te gustaban los
I like my
güeritos.
güeritos. I
She
like
likes
the
her
güeritos,
güeritos.
yes.
Oh.
So, yes, that was my first celebrity encounter or meeting.
And I know that Ritmo Latino. I
Yes.
remember the one on San
On San
Fernando.
Fernando Road
yeah,
and
yeah.
That
Maclay.
one too, because I took a couple bands there.
Yes.
No, because back
Lale
in the
was there, I
day,
believe.
Yeah.
I took Lale there too.
back in the day, a lot of meet and greets with the audience was at Ritmo Latino.
Yes.
I
Right.
did one with Chayanne and Cristian Castro.
Yes.
Oh, look
Yeah.
at
Well, it
That-
was in
that-
my backyard. And
Yeah.
so, yeah,
Rimo
it was
Latino
great.
was like equivalent of like Tower
Tower
Records.
Records.
Yes,
Yeah.
for
That's what
Latinos,
it was
yes.
Yeah.
for like
Yep.
bands and
It was.
and autographs and all that. You know,
Yeah.
right now that you
Sí.
mentioned Oscar de la Hoya and East LA and all that stuff,
Yeah.
it brought back another memory of someone that I met also. Remember Rico Suave?
Yes! Gerardo!
Who remembers Rico Suave?
Oh, I remember him. Yes,
Well,
we do.
our generation. I don't know if our girls know
Okay,
that.
so
I don't think our producer David knows who he
David, do you
is.
know Rico Suave, Gerardo?
Google him. Oh my God, he was like the hot guy
With his
at the-
bandana.
bandana,
Yes.
chest.
20 minutes. For 20 minutes.
Yeah. So I met him at one of my clubs.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then he wanted to get into one of my clubs, and I give him a table, bottle service, whole thing. We clicked, and we went out on many dates.
No way.
Wait,
was he Rico
What?
Suave in
Oh, yeah.
person?
I'll share some pictures.
Espérame, coma. ¿Hubo besito?
Muchos.
Okay, espérame. ¿Y
Muchos.
estaban ricos y suavecitos?
Bien suavecitos.
So he did walk the talk, huh?
Oh yeah.
Coma.
Oh yeah.
Wow. See, okay,
I
there's
love
so many
this.
questions with
I know.
Mindy. She mentioned one of my
Mindy.
clubs. So let's start talking about our entry into the industry. Is that how you entered into the industry, through clubs, or was it that you were a
You bet.
publicist first? O sea,
No,
¿cómo fue
not
tu
at
onda?
all.
¿Cuál es tu show?
No, not at all. I started with clubs first. I was a nightclub promoter, and I promoted some of the greatest clubs, the best clubs, mostly in the East Side. That's how I started, right? And some of them in Hollywood also. And that's how I got to know a lot of people in the record label industry. So that's how I got my first job offer at Warner Music.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I knew so many people in the industry, they offered me a job as a promoter for all the artists and also for marketing, because that's what I was already doing.
See,
I was already promoting my clubs
through your
and all the
clubs.
bands and everything.
What was one of your clubs?
La Cama.
La Cama.
La Cama.
La Cama,
But I
rock en
did-
español.
Oh yeah, rock en español. But prior to that, when I met Rico Suave, I did Peppers, the Red Onion, and
The
West
Red
Covina, the
Onion.
Red
Yes,
Onion.
yes.
I did all, like, the City of Industry, Peppers, City of Industry. I mean, I did all those clubs together with little shout out to Pierre Cannon out there and Anthony Animal and all the crew, all my
Animal.
promoters.
Anthony
It
Animal,
was
like,
so
I know.
amazing back in the day. We were it. And from there, that's how I started to meet other people in the Latino industry, right? But that's how it all got started. That's how Mindy got started. First the clubs, and then I went into the music industry. And then that's a
Right.
whole different chapter, right?
Okay.
And how did you get started? I'm curious,
I
Janet.
know. Because we already
Yeah.
talked about our first celebrity encounters, but
Mhm.
how did you get your foot in the door?
Well, my start in the industry was very, very different. So I was at UCLA, a sophomore. So it was my second year at UCLA.
That's
and
right, you're a baby.
She
Yeah,
was
that's
a
1 year.
college kid.
Uh-huh.
No, it was maybe my freshman year, I
Oh,
think,
wow.
when I started watching a show called LATV.
LATV.
LATV to me was on a network. It was on a
Cable news.
cable
like
news.
local
Yeah,
cable
local cable
channel.
news.
Yeah.
and it was like a bilingual MTV, and
Mhm.
I was just drawn in. I could not. I was so like into the fact that there were Latinos talking about Latino music, and there were so many artists that were on, all while being just so cool and young and hip. So I started watching that, and I remember there was a call for a VJ. There was a contest.
The VJ
A
world.
VJ. Yeah, you wanted. Yeah,
Everybody
so-
wanted to be
a
Daisy
VJ.
Fuentes.
That's
right.
Everybody wanted to be Daisy Fuentes on
Brooke
MTV
Burke,
Latino. Yes,
you know, like
yes.
traveling or Daisy Fuentes.
Yes.
And then I thought, oh, maybe I'll do that. I was like, no. So the time came and went, and I didn't apply for it.
But wait. You were.
didn't apply
You
for
were
it.
in school.
I
to
was still
study
at school.
something else. What were you?
Oh yeah, I
what
know.
were you
I was
studying?
doing. I started off at UCLA as a math major.
Math
And then-
major.
Math?
Yes, I was.
Math?
a
Oh, I
math
had
major.
no
I'm
idea.
not joking. I was
No
a math
way.
major.
Okay.
Oh.
That's how I started, and then I went into econ.
Oh wow.
Oh my gosh.
And then I switched over to international development studies. So which was sociology. That's what. That's what
Oye,
it was.
háblame en español.
I know. So it was sociology, economy, economics,
Yeah.
and politics. So it was.
Oh my
just
God,
like,
Janet, who are we talking to?
I
Who
know.
are you?
That's what I studied. So check this. So the whole time I'm like, oh, I like TV. So cool, so cool.
Uh-huh.
So the VJ position, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm trying to go into like marketing or sales or
Yes.
something in this kind of realm. And then I wrote an email. I'm like, you know what? I want to work there just for the summer or something. So I wrote an email and they replied to me. So I got a job as an assistant for Danny Crow. Shout out Danny Crow.
Hey.
And he wrote me back, and I was his assistant for sales and marketing. And then one day, this is a few months later, there's a show. So the offices were upstairs and all the production studios were downstairs. And there was a TRL, kind of like a total request live where people would ask for different videos.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I forgot what the show was called. But anyways, whoever was supposed to do the show didn't show up. And they came upstairs and they're like, Janet, like, do you want to go do that? And I was
fill
like,
in.
Fill in.
So I was like, sure. I literally went to go buy a shirt at the local like shop that was right there because I wasn't like
I think
dressed
there's a
cute.
Ross right there, right around the corner.
That's
So I went to go buy a shirt and they were like, okay, well, 4:00, whatever. So I showed up and I'm like, and next up, and I was like, forget this. This is what I want to do. Forget math. Like,
You felt the calling. You discovered
I
it.
had so much fun.
Oh, cool.
And so after that, then I started to do other shows. And I did Max to the Max. We did LATV Does Hollywood.
But you're still going to school.
I was still going to school.
Did your parents know about this?
Yes, they did, but they knew that I was still in school, and I was very serious about school too. But like there a lot of time was taken away. There were some classes or some semesters that I was like, I don't know if I can finish this.
You're like, I'm a VJ.
I'm a celebrity.
Who needs a
Come
degree?
up.
Who needs a
People
degree?
would
I'm already
come
on
up-
TV.
I know. Well,
They recognized you.
yes, they started recognizing because I did Max to the Max and a couple things, and they were just like, oh my god, whatever. So it was fun. We just had fun, and then after that, I went over to Mundos, and that's where all the red carpet stuff started, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, it was a fluke. Like I didn't study to be a journalist, but when I did start doing this, I took it seriously. I took some classes. I think it was Lionel. Shout out to Lionel. He brought in someone to kind of give us a little training and a little background on
that's
how to present on camera and how to read teleprompter
Wow.
so I did get some background and training, but it was literally like al agua pato.
Pero sabes
Wow,
qué?
that's amazing.
I think the beauty
Yeah.
of your story is that that's why I always tell students, be prepared for the opportunity. And even if you're not prepared, go for it because
Do it.
you learn as you go. And
You
the
do.
first, even if you do it con miedo, like I'm sure you weren't prepared that day, but you're like, F it. Like, this is my shot. This
Yep.
is my one shot.
Yeah.
And
You
look
just
at
go
what
for it,
happened.
right?
Yeah.
You go
And I
for
think
it.
my background just in research, like I just love to learn, and so whenever I'm doing something, and this is why we ended up at E together, and this is what we did. We literally dove deep into whatever we were researching, and that is kind of the background in journalism anyways. You need to know who you're interviewing. You need to know what you're doing.
Prepare.
And prepare.
Yeah. You gotta
So
prepare
all
for
that helped, but I was having fun. I was having so much fun.
I
mean,
love
was the
that.
base of it.
And that's so funny that you started as an executive assistant because so did I.
Yeah.
I started out at
Oh.
Entertainment Tonight. I started as an intern. I was still in college my last semester. And then when I graduated, they really liked me. And so they hired me as the executive producer's assistant. And wow, do I have some stories.
What a title.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, for a college
And that was for
kid.
Entertainment
That's
Tonight,
great.
which at the time was the #1 entertainment news
I mean, to this
program
day, when
in the
you-
world.
When you say
Wow.
Yeah, no,
Entertainment
Entertainment Tonight.
It's like,
so to
Yeah.
graduate from
Carries
college and that's your first job was a huge deal. And I always knew I wanted to do entertainment news. Sorry to my professor, Pete Noyes, who said that was a toy department of news, but that's what I wanted to do because he taught real journalism. And he's like, oh, you want to go work in the entertainment news world, don't you? And I'm like,
Because
yes,
it's fun.
yes, it was fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how I got started as Linda Bell Blue's assistant. And I was her assistant for 2 years. And man, the things I had to do.
Oh yeah.
Like
what?
she would go on these crazy diets. Like she wanted to do the Beyonce lemon water diet.
I remember that.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I
She
remember,
would
yeah.
I would have to squeeze dozens of lemons by hand. She didn't want like the lemon juice that already comes in a bottle. No, she
Fresh.
wanted to see me squeeze by hand. I didn't even have a whatever you call it, lemon
lemon
squeezer or
squeezer,
squisher,
yeah.
whatever you call it. No, by hand. You guys, I still have an injury on my thumb
No
right
te
here.
creo.
Oh my
Todavía me
No.
duele right here. When I squeeze a lemon now or anything, if I squeeze, it still hurts right
Oh
here.
my
You
tendinitis.
remember her.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you,
it
Beyonce.
always reminds me. Yeah. She wanted to do the Beyonce cayenne pepper, lemon juice, and cinnamon or something,
Maple
or
syrup,
maple
I think.
syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to make gallons of that a
loco.
day. Or she'd be like, I'm hungry. Go get me like 3 dozen egg whites. Literally. And so they knew me now at the cafeteria at Paramount because that's where the job was. It was on Paramount Studios. So I'd walk to the what do you call it? The cafeteria, and I'd ask for 3 dozen egg whites with salsa. Or she would have me finding the latest Birkin bag, which, you know, I was making like $22,000 a year, and her Birkin bags were upwards of 50 grand.
Wow.
But she had me finding a Birkin bag anywhere in the world because she had to have that bag. Yes. Oh, the stories.
This sounds like Devil Wears Prada.
It was very Devil Wears Prada. And after about a year and a half, 2 years, I read the book and I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to be like her. So I'm working for Miranda Priestley right now. Yes.
You know, your story a little, but not like that, because my introduction to TV also happened in college. I went in as a pre-law student and then discovered that that was not my path. And it was thanks to an elective class, journalism, that I discovered like the power of telling a story and how I enjoyed much the process. And my very first story on camera, on campus, obviously for Communications 101, was a story on ice blended coffee, because it was a thing. It was like, wait, what? Like coffee is cold and it's blended? So I did a story on Zebra Cafe, which is a carrito at LMU. I went to Loyola Marymount University, and that became my story. Long story short, it was because of an internship that I landed in Telemundo. And then Telemundo happened, where I graduated, and they offered me a job. And I wanted to also work in the entertainment world, but there was no positions there. So I was like, I'll take whatever. And I became the feature reporter, right? You know, Magic Mountain just opened, Spider-Man. Go get on the ride and give us a story. Hey, Disneyland just opened Tomorrowland. Go get Argelia que vaya. Era la jovencita. But I remember Jessica Maldonado. Remember Jessica Maldonado?
Yes.
Jessica, I love you. But I got to tell the story, girl. Ella tenía un show con Jose Ronstad. And I remember, she thought I was an intern when I was already a reporter. On Telemundo. But because I was so young looking, she was like, hey, tú, ten, ve por unos cafés helados aquí en la esquina. ¿Quieres uno? Y le dice, as editor. And I'm like, okay. I don't know how to tell
shopping for coffees
that I am not an intern. I actually am employed now. But girl,
hired me.
I'm going to go get your coffees because I want your job. Because she was an entertainment reporter for Telemundo, and I think she was already working for the network, or she was kind of in transition. But fui la mandadera de varios while I was a reporter already. So I had 2 jobs. I was a reporter.
And you were like the PA.
And I was like the
assistant.
assistant for the newsroom. Like, Argelia que vaya a los cafés, Argelia que vaya por las ensaladas, Argelia que vaya. I didn't care. I saw it like I'm paying my dues.
Yes.
Right?
But that is a string that is strung through all of our stories.
Yeah.
I think when you start, just saying yes. Be a yes person and dive into those experiences, whether it's squeezing lemon juice, whether it's getting coffee, or same here, getting coffee and doing all of that, and just saying yes to new experiences and knowing that you 100% have no idea what the hell you're doing, but you're gonna do it with a smile, and you're gonna pretend you're gonna.
And more people like you.
Fake it till you make it. You know?
I did fake it, and it was
till
a
you make
full
it.
circle moment, because remember, my first piece on campus was ice blended coffee.
Oh yeah.
And my first mandado was go get the coffee.
You're like, I got this.
And then, yes, I got this. I'm a pro. And then Gabriela Teixier, who was the entertainment anchor at the time,
remember her?
got
I do.
pregnant, and she was supposed to take off and come back from maternity leave, and she never came back. So one day they needed to talk about entertainment. I forget what the story was. And y así como tú, like Janet. Argelia, can you talk about entertainment today? It was my dream, and I don't think I was ready for it, but I said, it is now or never.
That's right.
Vámonos. And I was on TV giving entertainment, and the rest is history. Dije, de aquí soy.
that.
And that's when Rosalia, shout out to Rosalia watching me, and Sandra Thomas, and everybody else, and Ana Maria Canseco, who also showed me the ropes at the time, said, no, tú eres espectáculos. Like, you have the look, you have the youth, and you have that spirit and charisma. Because I honestly do think that not everybody can do entertainment. It takes a special something. I don't know what it's called.
Yes.
Bueno, Rosalía, mi primera supervisora, decía que tienes ángel para dar entretenimiento, because you're supposed to entertain people.
Right.
Yes.
Even if you're talking about a red carpet, you still have to make that piece entertaining.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you took the opportunity and the fact that all of us, I mean, we fell in love with something inside of us. And mira, we ended up choosing that as our vocation,
Yes.
which is a passion, right?
Oh, I've always loved entertainment.
Entertainment.
Yes.
So have I. I mean, I've always loved entertainment in some form or another. I mean, I was designing clothes for all these rock bands at a very young age. I had posters of Bon Jovi, which was my crush. Oh my God, Bon Jovi was my crush, my rock and roll crush. And yes, and I ended up dating
También un güerito.
un güerito.
How many
Uh-huh.
artists did you date, Mindy?
Oh,
Ooh,
no,
that's a
no.
good question.
No,
I don't know if we're gonna get the answer to
I
that.
feel like you've dated a few here and there. In the,
Well, maybe some highlights,
I
man.
know. We need a whole episode
I
on just
know,
Mindy and
I
her
love
love
it.
life.
You know,
What
I actually never seriously dated a celebrity, but I did go out with many, and I realized that I didn't want to be in that. Like once you spend enough time with them and you tour with them and you see like the other side of it. I mean, I have so much respect for some of these artists who are on tour. They're away from people that they love most of the time,
Yes.
unless they travel with their kids and their wives, right? But most of the times they're very lonely, and that's why sometimes they do bad things because they have way too much time in their hands when they're out there, right?
Yeah, and nobody to hold them accountable.
Nobody
Right.
hold it. They're away from their wives or their girlfriends and all that. So I witnessed so many of those crazy moments with a lot of celebrities. So did I go out with a lot of them? Yes. Did I kiss a few here and there? Yes. Yes. But yes. But you know what? Yes. But not that many. You know why? Because I never wanted to mix business with pleasure. I just thought, the word's gonna get around, right?
See.
So I kind of like stepped away. Thank God that social media was not like around
right.
so much, because imagine if we
Cell phones, just
if we,
cell
if we
phones in
could take
general.
selfies. I mean, there's like a whole, I think 7 years of no photos unless I had like one of those Kodak cameras on me.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we
Right.
didn't have the little selfies, the ease of just like snapping
Yes.
that shot. I mean, I still carried one of those Canon snapshot,
That's right.
cameras, and that's how I have pictures with like Maná and like Alejandro Sanz, some of these big artists, or Laura Pausini, right? Because of that little camera that I just happened to have, right? But other than that, I had a flip phone, like it did not take any pictures,
Right.
You know? I mean,
No, back in the day, they
back in the
didn't.
days it did not, but yes, I mean, quickly, some of the people that I went out with,
Okay,
Rico Suave,
start
right? I was
writing.
one of them.
I know. No,
We're gonna have
I'm
a
listening,
trivia
I'm
quiz
listening.
at the
Hold
end
on,
of
I'm
this
gonna be a
episode.
book agent. Go ahead, tell me.
No, just a few, but I also became kind of close with, remember the soap opera star Venezolano Fernando Carrillo back in the
Yes.
day? He was with Thalia and some of the big
Yes.
telenovelas.
Yes.
Well, I met him at my club also because he also played in a band, in a rock band. So
Sí,
he came
cierto.
over to meet. Who's the promoter? Oh, it's Mindy. He got to meet me.
La Mindy.
We had a little meeting, and then we clicked, and then he would come over to Polygram to pick me up, and we would go have lunch and hang out, and hang out a little bit here and there, and he was very nice, very pleasant, right?
¿Quién más?
And then
Otro
also,
actor de
and
telenovela.
another actor that I became very close to. I met him through another friend at Ago. Ago was an Italian restaurant in
That was the
in
fun
LA. It was
place to
such a
be.
fun place to hang out. It was like a little hangout for like
Ya no
celebrities.
está ahí, ¿verdad? ¿O
It's
sí?
not there anymore. They shut it down, I think, a few years ago. But that was the spot to go have dinner. They even had one of the Grammy parties there, and all the celebrities were there, and the artists and the winners and all that. But it was a really cool place, and that's how I met Eduardo Yañez. Eduardo Yañez back in the day was super hot. Like, wow, right?
Yes.
We've been out a couple times with you and Eduardo.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
¿Tú también saliste con ellos?
No, as a group.
No,
we were
no,
hanging
con un
out.
grupo con ella. We went out a couple times.
Oh
with you and
yeah, a
Eduardo
couple of
Yañez.
events,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. Eduardo would call me. Oh yeah, like they're inviting me to this event. Oh, I don't know if I should go. If you come with me, I'll go. I go, okay, let's go. So we would go, and like he was at the time was super hot.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
He was the
So
it guy.
He was the it
Yes.
guy.
He was the it
and-
telenovela guy.
Yes, he was.
No,
And-
mi mamá se muere
my
si
God.
sabe que Mindy salió con su galán,
Oh,
Eduardo
my
Yañez.
gosh,
Y
yes.
todas las
So
tías.
Yes.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was he was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to hang out
He was
with.
so nice.
very down to earth. We'd go have
Yeah.
burgers together, hang out, fancy restaurants, events. He was such a fun guy, and I got to really know him at a very, very personal level. Very personal level. And then I remember he went to one of my family events.
Oh, you took him.
I took him to one of my family events. And
But that's serious.
Oh,
You took
yeah.
him as a friend?
As a friend. No. We were always just friends.
Okay,
right?
okay,
Like,
okay.
yeah. It could it
With
could have been more.
benefits?
It could have been
Friends with
more.
benefits?
No, I never
Okay.
I never crossed that line.
Okay.
But he wanted with you.
Yes.
Él sí quería contigo.
Yeah.
Pero también te
We
respetó.
did kiss.
¡Eh! Ya sabía.
bueno, ahí sale la verdad.
O sea, nadie se puede resistir a esos
No,
labios de la Mimi. I
un
mean, come on.
besito. Ay, no,
Como dijo, ¿sabes qué?
Eduardo. Like, he looked good back in the
Yes.
day. He looked amazing.
Coma.
Yeah.
A nadie se le niega un besito, ¿verdad?
I know.
A nadie.
A
A
nadie.
nadie.
Yo sí niego. A mí no.
No, but let me tell you. So I took him to my family event, and all my tias were dying.
Dying,
They're like, oh
I
my
bet.
God, I'm dying. Right? Everybody was dying. But something very funny happened. He said, "Oye, no hay un supermercado because I want to buy a couple of carnitas or something, Se me antojan las carnitas." I go, "Oh, there's a Vallarta supermarket down the street." Oh my
¿Lo
God.
llevaste a la Vallarta?
I took him to Vallarta's.
Uh-oh.
I said, "It's not a good idea. Just tell me what you want. Wait in the car."
I am
right?
getting a family affair.
Yes.
Oh, deja vu
Oh,
with that scene.
Let me tell
When
you,
Nicole Kidman
girls.
and
Oh my God.
Oh,
Zac Efron.
Oh my God, yes, it reminded me of that.
Well, it has
Okay.
to be. Es que Eduardo Yáñez en San
Yeah,
Fernando.
in San Fernando with
No,
a lot of
claro.
Latinos. Now, for those people who, all my American friends who are listening to this podcast who are thinking,
Who's
who's Eduardo Yáñez? Okay, this guy was like the heartthrob. Back
Yes.
in, like back in the
A
day.
telenovelas.
Yes.
The Latino heartthrob. Like
Yes.
perfect body, great face. Like,
Hair.
hair, everything.
Yes.
Personality.
Super hot. So
Doesn't he have like a little dimple or
he
something?
does
He has like a cute
also a little
Yes.
dimple. So I took him to Vallarta supermarket.
Oh my
and-
God. No,
But I said, wait in the car. I'll go get it. He goes, no, I'll go. No one's going to recognize me. He said, I'll wear a baseball cap.
No le dijiste
I
dónde
said,
estaba?
we are practically in Mexico
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Like, let me just tell you, San Fernando has a lot of Latinos, and we're going to go into a Mexican supermarket, Vallarta. He says, no, I'll just put it down, wear my shades, nobody will know.
Ándale.
I'm like, he was insistent. I go, okay, well, let's do it. He goes, a lo que llegamos, right?
A lo que vamos.
Straight to the carnitas, right? To get
A
the
la
prepared food.
carnicería.
We go there, girl, and
The
let
mob.
me tell you, no, not the mom. Some young girls were like, oh my God, it's Eduardo. And he's like, oh, shit. Let me tell you, they had to shut down Vallarta supermarket. Okay, security's had to shut it down.
out.
They had to escort us
Ow.
all the way to the house. Like, that's how bad it was. We
No.
had people following us back to my sister's house. It was crazy. It was wild.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
the
was like-
question. Did you get the carnitas?
We got the damn carnitas. Yes,
Thank
we
God.
did.
Imagine.
A lo que iba.
Mission accomplished.
But the manager was a little pissed. He's like, if you ever come back again, can you just let me know so I can shut the supermarket down for you guys?
Oh
This
my
is
gosh.
crazy.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
oh, I'm sorry.
Oopsie.
They should be grateful, right?
Exactly.
Like, what Eduardo Yáñez?
Yes.
I
you know?
know. Everybody was with their phones like this. They were
Yeah.
out with their phones taking tons of pictures. I'm sure I came
That's
out in like
exciting, right? You go
some
to the
kind of-
grocery store.
El
and
Gordo y
all
la
of a sudden-
Flaca or
yeah,
something, I'm sure.
You know, some show or whatever. It was
Yes.
crazy. It was wild.
You know, it's so
It's funny.
funny because it takes me back to that tells me that for him to want to go to Vallarta's to go get carnitas, la
down to
pregunta is like, when was the last time he went to a supermarket?
right.
So for him, it was like,
he was
let's
so
go,
out
no
of
pasa
touch,
nada.
I think.
No,
He had
sí
a-
pasa.
Yeah, he was out
Vas a
of touch.
provocar un caos, and he did.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if he went to Whole Foods.
Whole Foods, nobody would even look at him. Exactly. Whole Foods,
Erewhon.
nobody would care, right? But Vallarta. supermarket,
Yeah,
are you
no.
kidding
That's
me?
like going to the
Vallarta.
Ivy as a celebrity.
Oh my
Wow,
God,
it
that
was
is crazy.
wild.
Remember
It was
the Ivy?
crazy.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
The Ivy.
The Ivy.
If you want to be seen with a celebrity or want to see a celebrity, go to the
I
Ivy.
don't think
right?
anymore though. I don't
You know
think
what?
anybody
I've
goes
been
to
there
the Ivy.
very few times in my life, probably 3. Los puedo contar.
I'm talking about more recently.
Y las veces que he ido, yo nunca digo, ¿qué tanto show? I've never seen a
No, but
celebrity. I want to see a
think-
celebrity.
I think that
Yeah.
was like in the early 2000s. That was a place. Remember when Ben and J-Lo broke up the
Yeah.
first time, their
Yeah.
engagement?
Yeah.
That's where they went
These are
to
the things
dinner.
that we know, Eddie.
I know. They went there
Ah.
for dinner the night
Yeah.
they announced they broke up, their engagement. They went there for dinner. And there's pictures. Look them
pictures,
up. And she's just like, her face is swollen and everything. But it's like,
Oh.
why did they go there? because they knew they would be photographed together, even
Right.
though they had announced that they had broken off their
Yeah.
engagement.
Right.
They wanted to be
That's a
seen
paparazzi
together.
spot.
That
Yeah,
was
that's
a
hot spot.
paparazzi spot back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just across the street a few weeks ago for dinner, and there was nobody there. No
No.
paparazzi,
Nobody's
nothing.
there.
That's a has-been place at this point. But
Wow.
yeah, but that
This
was
is all
the spot.
products of living in LA.
Yes.
though. I mean that's the thing. I think growing up in Gardena, because that's where I grew up, growing up in Gardena in the South Bay, like we weren't exposed to the Hollywood scene. Not until I think I came over and I was studying at UCLA, and then I was living in West Hollywood, and then I started working in the industry. Then you're just exposed to so many more experiences. You're invited to all the
Yes.
parties. And this little girl from Gardena was like, damn, like I'm at a premiere, like oh my
Yes.
god, but outside I'm like a duck with paddling underwater. I'm so cool, calm and collected. I belong, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I belong. But it was the coolest experience to go through all of these moments and meet these people
fun.
who you admire and who you think are just like the coolest things ever, you know?
Yeah.
Growing up, they are the epitomes of what culture, like
Mhm.
the Hollywood culture is like. And
Sí.
it's like las estrellas.
And
you know?
also
Gente.
to be a Latina in
Yeah.
some of these shows. Like, I think I was the only Latina working at Entertainment Tonight in 2001 when I was working there. I don't think that. In fact, my old supervisor, Rick, hi Rick, he used to call me Condoleezza Rice and Beans.
Oh my gosh, really?
It was a joke. I mean, like, I was never offended. But it was just
2001?
like,
Nah,
I know.
okay.
No cancel culture
Hoy
back
no.
then.
Hoy
Yeah.
no.
But I mean, we would talk. He's like, you're like the only woman of color here. So you're like Condoleezza Rice and Beans. I don't even know how we got that. But yeah, I think I was the only Latina. And then Linda Bell, the executive producer, she wanted to get a Latino. They wanted to do like more Latino stuff or maybe an Entertainment Tonight in Espanol because
Sí.
I had brought the idea up. And so she wanted a Latino journalist. So I pitched Carlos Ponce.
Really?
Oh.
Yes, who was my telenovela heartthrob when I was growing up, and my mom loved him. Well, when I showed her a picture of Carlos Ponce, Linda Bell Blue fell in love. And she auditioned him. She brought him in from Miami. I got to drive him around. I was like his person for Entertainment Tonight, his
You
contact.
drove him around.
Oh my God, yes. I took him
In
to
your car.
Eventually, he got hired. Linda Bell Blue loved him.
Sí.
He came with his brother, who was his manager at the time, Francisco. And I brought the first Latino onto Entertainment
Good
Tonight.
for you,
And
Diana.
he got a
Ooh.
contract with them. He worked for the show for like 2 years, and he was one of the correspondents, the Latino
Wow.
correspondent.
should've been the manager.
I felt like I
Seriously.
was, because they would be like, Carlos has a junket this weekend, and then I became friends with him and his brother. And so when he would come to LA, like I would pick them up at the hotel, and then I'd take him to the junket, and we would go have dinner together. And yeah, it was great. And then I went to Miami for the Latin Grammys, and he was our correspondent, and I hung out with their families, and it was great.
Was
it
he like
really
the
sweet.
first big celebrity that you met?
No, because then once you start working at
Yeah,
Entertainment Tonight,
yeah.
they're coming in and out.
Right.
Then I have a story about like Paula
Yeah,
Abdul.
yeah.
Ah.
I have we'll get into those
We'll get into
crazy
that right now.
stories. Yeah.
You mentioned junket, and that's I think where my career really takes off in the entertainment world, because when Gabriela Teixier didn't come back from her maternity leave, well, then I was now doing the news bits, right?
Mhm.
But then I'll never forget my very first junket, because my boss at the time says, Argelia, te están invitando a ir a entrevistar artistas en San Diego. Yo, oh, okay, pero it's un junket. Yo, es un junket? Like,
Yeah.
I had never heard the word.
Right.
Junket? I literally said junket. Es un junket. Y yo, what is that? Well, prácticamente te van a dar un par de minutos. You're going to get a few minutes to interview the stars to promote a movie.
Mhm.
And I have to pay? No, they're going to send you. They're going to put you on a train. I remember she said they're going to put you on a train. You're going to have to like go to San Diego. You're going to be there for 3 days, Friday through Sunday, watch the movie, interview the stars, come back. And I thought, are you sure I don't have to pay? Because I thought, this is for
Yes.
free? Like, you're going to send me to San Diego for free and then
Wow,
be there.
that's awesome.
So the movie was Almost Famous with Kate Hudson.
yes.
Oh,
God.
yeah.
And I was clueless. Okay, I didn't know I had to check in. I was like a little girl lost in the sea of journalists. So thanks to them showing me the ropes, I got to party the day before because, they receive you with the
Yes.
party, and then they take you to the movie, and then they take you to the other party.
Yes.
And then the next day you're interviewing the celebrities in this, 4-star, 5-star hotel.
And then
they're
they give you
feeding
swag bags,
swag
merch
bags, gifts.
with lots of
Yeah.
merch.
I get to hang out with Kate
They butter you
Hudson.
up.
Yes.
It was a beautiful experience, and I just got to say that just these junkets, man.
And that was probably
It was-
just the beginning. San Diego's nothing compared to like the ones they have in Hawaii.
Well, no, I
and they
got to
fly
fly
you around
to
the
New
world.
York many
Oh, wow.
times.
Oh,
I already
yes.
knew my
Oh, wow.
valet
Yeah.
people at the Four Seasons in
Yes.
Miami.
Oh, yes, we did. We
New
have our
York,
chocolates.
Hawaii. I was
Yes.
living the life. Like, I'm
Yes.
so happy I did it at that time because I don't know if I could hang now. But
No.
in my
You would've
20s,
turned out.
I felt so important. Like, this weekend I'm going to go to New York
Yes.
at the Ritz because
Oh.
I get to interview, like
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock.
I
and
remember
Reese
Tom
Witherspoon.
Cruise for Mission Impossible. They would fly reporters out to
See?
London.
Yes, all these experiences I'll never forget. Were you with me when we did Gael Garcia Bernal in Italy?
No.
Oh, that was Naive. Hi,
yeah.
Naive. Yes. Who
I did go to
flies
that
you
one.
to Italy?
Exactly.
To interview.
But that was back
Gael.
then. These big movie houses, the Paramounts, the
Yes,
Warner Brothers,
yes.
they would fly people out and keep you at these nice hotels. Telemundo wasn't paying. NBC
Very
wasn't
No,
paying.
the
Do
houses
they do
were.
that?
Yes,
yeah,
they
they took
used
us-
to
Still
do that.
now?
No,
they still
not
do
as
that?
much.
I don't know.
Everything
Yeah.
cheap, but
Not
not
as
to
much.
that level. I
Yeah.
remember one of the most memorable junket for me was New Orleans, and they flew everybody out to New Orleans to do the Skeleton Key with Kate Hudson. But what was amazing about that particular junket is that they flew us out a few days early. And they gave us a tour because there were a couple of reporters. They gave us a tour of New Orleans. They wined and dined us. We stayed at the Four Seasons. They wined and dined us for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then took us out to an event.
See.
And then we were taken over to do the junkets and the premiere. And then what was most memorable about that was that a month later, Katrina hit. So we had this like really deep connection, I think, that because we had this most amazing experience with all these reporters. And I remember like connecting with a few of the reporters afterwards, and we were just distraught because we were thinking of all the people that we met while we were there. But that was an experience that I will never forget, that I would have not had it not been for Warner Brothers at the time.
And what
Yeah.
celebrities did you interview for that one?
That was Kate Hudson for the Skeleton Key.
So I want to know about the celebrities. I want to know the
Yes.
juicy
Okay,
stuff, guys.
well,
you guys are talking about like all the stuff you
stuff.
did.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Phenomenal,
Work,
but
work.
like people want to
Okay.
know, like we need to know the juicy stuff.
Well, so what was
wow.
the craziest
Well, the thing is,
experience?
I know the thing is that the junkets were kind of the introduction and big part of our beginning
Yes.
era in this world. But you're right.
Right.
Because of those junkets, there were some awkward moments with celebrities.
That is.
I'll never forget Miami, and you were with me,
Oh, I was.
and I forget the movie. It must have been Fast and Furious, or what was it
Oh,
with Vin Diesel?
Yeah, that's Fast and
Okay, it
Furious.
was.
Ah.
Yeah.
Was it? It was Fast and Furious. Vin
It was
Diesel.
one of them.
It was Vin Diesel.
It was
1
Vin
through
Diesel.
9.
It was
Yeah.
Vin Diesel. And so here we are, because every time you do a junket, it's like a row of reporters in the hallway waiting their
Just
turn
waiting,
to
yeah.
go and have 5 minutes with the star. And then you come out. And when you have friends like me and Janet, well, I would sit there in the hallway and wait for Janet or whoever else. And then,
Yeah.
¿Cómo te fue? How did it go? Oh my God, he gave me 5 minutes. He gave me a good interview. Like, we would always
Yeah,
share
yeah,
notes,
yeah.
right? But I remember we were waiting for, I don't know who we were waiting for.
One of the other
One of the other
actors, or maybe the
reporters.
director. So it was in the hallway of where the hotel rooms are. They would transform some of the hotel rooms into interview rooms, kind of
Yes.
like this.
Yes.
And so everybody would stay outside. They would go from one room and do an interview. Then you would go outside and go to the next room to do another. Now, in some of these floors, they had like living rooms.
Yes, to hang out.
To hang out, and so that's where we were. We were
Hospitality.
like hanging out.
Hospitality room. Yeah,
Yeah,
hospitality
hospitality
room.
room.
Waiting for your turn for the
Right.
next
Yeah.
interview. But there was this one moment where I feel like, wait, what? Is this really happening? Are you for real? So one of Vin Diesel's handlers must have been maybe a Mindy, like a right hand,
Yeah.
publicist, literally came up to us,
Yeah.
the
yeah?
Latinas,
Yeah.
not the
Uh-huh.
other girls from other
Yeah.
places, came up to us and said, hey, so what are you guys doing tonight?
Ah.
Y entonces vienen los centros, oh, we don't know, we're just going to see, we're going to hang out. And he straight out said, he gave us his
He
card,
did.
right? And said, this is my
Oh.
number.
Vin wants to hang out.
Vin wants to hang out.
Oh.
Y Jen y yo nos volteamos a ver like, oh, Okay.
Both of us?
Yes, with both of us.
Threesome here? Whoa.
And maybe he was inviting a couple girls.
probably.
Maybe it was a party. I don't know. I mean, it was.
So did you guys call? Did you guys go?
Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled.
We
we all think it's a party. And then you get there, you're like, oh,
It's just
you're
three.
party too. Yeah.
Well, imagine we kept the card. We said, okay, we'll think about it. We'll get back to you.
And?
Se va el chavo y las dos sanjuaneras persinadas. We're like,
tapadas.
oh my gosh, like, you believe ¿qué se cree? O sea, que no, que sinvergüenza. O sea, we're not that type of girls. O sea, todas ofendidísimas.
And we each hit the note and we called right out. Just kidding.
Oh, no.
But at the same time, it felt awesome.
Yeah.
It felt awesome that we were being like, wait, what? He wants to hang out with these two Latinas, young.
Ooh.
I mean, I gotta say,
We were really young.
voy a decirlo, bonitas, coquetas, preparadas. We were professionally always prepared for these interviews. I always felt that Janet and I were very aware of how we dressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think celebrities see that because we got to see other colleagues that were like, take me.
Oh my
You know,
God.
like,
yes.
I'm interviewing you,
we were much
but
more conservative.
take
for
me.
sure.
But I'm
Like,
yes.
available.
Like,
yeah,
I'm
right?
available.
Yeah,
We saw
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we did.
Speaking of Vin Diesel, there was a reporter
So
I
I'm
worked
sure-
with. I won't say
I'm
her
sure
name.
I'm sure that
But
reporter
yes.
did go.
Oh, yes. She did. But she did a lot.
But they did not try to recruit you because you were well prepared for
So-
the interview.
¿Tú qué sabes?
Girl, it's, you know,
Mindy calling it out for what it
I
is.
want to call it out. You know, all this
Mindy, ¿tú qué
bullshit. I
sabes?
was like,
Calling
oh
it
my
out for what it
God.
What
you
did
know?
Vin? Did he really want to have dinner with us?
No, girl, he probably feed you a little bit before taking you back to his
He was
hotel.
gonna feed you, baby.
Come back for some dessert in the hotel. I mean, girl.
You like
girl.
sausage?
Oh my! Oh
That's
my!
the bottom
know.
line.
I'm
they don't care
blushing
how
all over
smart
again.
you
Yeah,
are.
I
How,
know.
what
So
a
it's so
great
funny.
interview. It's about
But
two
it's-
hot girls.
two
Bottom
hot
line.
girls.
You know what? And when that happened, I mean, we were kind of surprised. We, and
Oh,
it
really?
happened.
Really?
We kind of were because it happened out of nowhere. I mean, it wasn't like I had this connection.
No.
You know what I mean? Like we were having fun. That was the one thing that I think I always try to do with the junket.
Yes.
Representing like a station like
Yeah.
Mundos.
Yes.
It was fun.
In
young,
my case, we met
youthful.
Impacto Univision.
Yeah. So it was just all fun.
Yeah,
So
big
we
channel.
always enjoyed, giving the interview and going through that. So leaving, I never put out that kind of vibe. And
Or
so
so you
going
thought.
out, or so I thought.
Yeah, clearly you did. If you were being
Clearly.
handed
Or so
business
I thought.
cards, girl.
I mean, I did leave some junkets thinking like, I hope that guy comes back up. I hope
See
this
what
one
I'm
comes
saying?
up.
You know, I did a junket and I couldn't control myself because I never expected this celebrity to make me feel the way that I felt.
Ooh.
And I don't know if it's starstruck or I was just starstruck by how handsome he looked in person.
Ooh, who's that?
That I did lose it. Where I literally got tongue twisted, forgot my questions,
Who
was
is it?
sweating.
Ooh la la.
Tell us
Wait,
I
more.
was sweating. Y la verdad que I was surprised myself, and he noticed it, which was even worse because
that's
at the
so
end of the interview, when I was walking, it's that uncomfortable moment where you're taking off the mic,
Yes.
and the people around are just like chit chatting,
Yeah.
and the celebrity's just like, a ver a qué hora se va.
He's still sitting
That
there.
moment of me walking out, I felt like
He was watching
was
you.
watching me, how I was like jello.
He who?
And that night, I had a Luis Miguel concert, and I was this close of saying, okay, fuck it. You want to come with me to the concert? Because I was so like, you are so hot.
I can't leave. I can't leave
I'm
without
going to tell you
you.
the name,
Yeah.
and I don't.
Ooh la la. I
Ahora
don't
lo
know
veo
if I know
en
this
películas, and I'm
story.
like, why? But in person, there was something in him. Las tengo en ascuas, ¿verdad?
Yes, I'm like, here.
I'm like,
Hold
"Get
it
it
out.
out."
Let it out.
Okay, this actor.
that caused
I
you
know.
this.
You're probably going to be like, really? But for me, it was like,
Leo. Was it Leo?
damn. Nada que ver. Latino.
Oh.
Latino.
Okay.
Benjamin Bratt.
Oh.
Look at- I still
Oh.
Todavía suspiro.
No, he's
Benjamin,
he's a
you know what it
good-looking guy.
I can
was?
see that.
That he
Yeah.
was so classy. His hair was slicked back. The color of his skin, morenazo.
Yep.
Y traía una colonia. And he was so poised.
He's
and
so
I
cool,
was like,
calm,
as
and
soon as I
collected.
walked in,
He is.
haz de cuenta que yo llego, hey, Ben. Like, that happened.
Like, whoop.
It has never happened with any other actor.
Wow.
Benjamin Bratt.
Wow.
I was like, and he noticed it.
He's such a nice guy, though.
Very gentleman.
I'm glad
Very
it happened
gentleman.
with him and not another one because he is so down
He's a
to
gentleman.
earth.
Yeah.
He's a gentleman.
Yeah,
really
he
good
is.
guy.
I
Even
think that's
now,
what I
he's
love.
aged very well. I
Yeah.
just saw
Remember
him.
when he was dating Julia Roberts?
Yes.
Were they engaged, I think?
I think
Yeah,
they
they
were
were.
engaged.
Yes.
They were.
And they were such a cute
They
couple
were
together.
so
I was
cute.
jealous of Julia Roberts. She actually got the man, like
And he was just in a new movie with Brooke Shields. Sorry, Brooke
Yes,
Shields on
that's
Netflix. Such a
right.
cute movie.
I had to
Yeah.
see it.
Yes,
He's
it's
still
really
got
cute.
it.
And
yes,
he's aged
and in
with
the
grace.
movie he's got it.
And
It's
he's
a cute movie.
He's aging with grace.
guy.
He's
I
aging
think,
with
I
grace.
think whenever
Yeah.
somebody holds himself to a different standard and they're just confident
Yes.
and kind.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because that's what he
Kind.
is. He was very
Mhm.
kind. He was very kind. There were some people that were not so kind.
No.
Like who?
And some men were very
Mm.
just blunt.
Did you did you guys ever do an interview where you felt uncomfortable, where they made you uncomfortable in a bad, negative way?
Do not miss next week's part 2 of Lights, Camera, Surprise, the Comadres Celebrity Encounters.
Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. We'd love to see your reviews and hear your thoughts. You can also follow Comadres Unfiltered on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more updates. New episodes every Tuesday. Until next time, comadritas.